Not every film can be Citizen Kane, but even critics have claimed that it was shit in its day. Some films are shit and shit they will stay, but some get better over time because of Nicolas Cage. So which film stays shit forever? And which one's got a little bit better? Second chance movies. No poor bloods were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Welcome to Second Chance Movies, the podcast where we rewatch movies and decide if they deserve a second chance.
I'm Joe Harper, your host who loves rewatching movies and misses the days when we had fun Will Smith movies.
And I'm Jessica Quaz, your host who's a one and done kind of movie viewer who will not go quietly into the night, will not vanish without a fight, will live on, will survive, and will celebrate her independence.
What?
And today we are giving a second chance to Independence Day Resurgence.
Well, the reason Jessica chose this movie is because it's Independence Day.
Happy Independence Day, America! Wah, wah, wah.
And instead of doing the first one, which is a classic, 90s classic,
so good.
We decided to watch its sequel that was not loved by all, including myself. This is one I just didn't care for. Let me just remind everyone, spoilers, we're going to be talking about this movie. And second, let me give you a synopsis of what IMDb said about this movie. 2 decades after the first Independence Day invasion, Earth is faced with a new extrasolar threat. But will mankind's new space defenses be enough? No, they won't be.
No. Sure. It's a very dramatic synopsis. I
also think that just barely breaches the surface of what the movie actually is. It's just the aliens from the first movie are returning to Earth again.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
This is another 20 years late sequel that does not hold up to the original.
Yeah, I would just describe this movie as the sequel to the first Independence Day that does very cheap copies of what worked in the first one, and for some reason we have Liam Hemsworth all over the place in this. Well, let's talk about our first chance with this movie.
Oh, I think you need to go first with this because
all right, I know
my first chance was after your first chance.
So my first chance, opening weekend, I was super pumped, so pumped. They had Goldblum back, they had Bill Pullman back, Vivica Fox is back. We're gonna get into it. I was like, hell yeah. I loved the first one growing up. It was like one of those movies that like my family always watched. Any time of year, we'd all get into Independence Day. Loved it. And the idea, like 20 years later, the day it came out, like 20 years ago, oh hell yeah, sequel. And so I go into the theaters with high expectations.
That's your first mistake.
That was the first mistake. And I thought the trailer was cool too. Like I was like, this is gonna be awesome. And it was so infuriating for me. I just kept progressively getting more angry and angrier as it went on. I left the theater so mad and stayed so mad at this movie for years until like a few weeks ago when we decided, hey, let's give this a second chance. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember it. Maybe my expectations were too high. I don't know what happened here, fam.
All right. Let me talk about my first time.
Yes, please.
So, because this was one of those, let's make a sequel 20 years after the fact. This was not something that like felt like there was any heart and soul into it going in. Just like a cash grab of like, let's get this property we know everyone loved and let's make a sequel to it. Why not? Some of the actors are willing to participate. I just remember Jessica being so excited. She's, I'm gonna go see it. Are you ready to see it? And I was like, no, it looks so. It does not look good. I was not ready for it. And then, because like I did not think the trailers looked good. And I just remember Jessica just being so sad about it afterwards. So how, and me being a smartass, how was the movie? And her, I don't want to talk about it. And then it took me a while to watch it. I think I was like, I'll watch it when it comes available and I can rent it from the library. And I finally did that. I think like 2 to 3 years later afterwards, or maybe even 4. Like I waited a while for it to be on DVD to like finally get into it, and it was just okay. Like it was pretty boring. It was everything I thought it was going to be. And so like, was I too harsh on it? Maybe. And that's why I was like, you know what? I'll give it a second chance. I don't want to because I'm pretty sure I know how I feel about this. But let's give it again, and I'll be more. I don't know if I'll be more critical or more be open to it. I think I have to put me in that mindset of like, okay, let me not have any negative baggage to this movie and just see it for what it is. And so now I have some more thoughts on my second viewing.
Yeah, that's how I tried to come into it with the second viewing as well, because I had so many personal feelings about it. And I tried to like, let's manage the expectations here. Let's just like, let's forget about how I felt like excited about it. Let's just watch it as it is. I still have a lot of thoughts.
It just falls in line with all these like sequels that get made 20 years after the fact, because they're like a property. Do you want me to list off some of those movies?
I mean, sure, because this I feel like was made in the heyday of like, we got a reboot, we got a sequel, we got to make money. So what were some other ones? Because I've forgotten.
So I'm going to list them. Not all of them are bad. I think some of them are good. Some of them are trash. But I'm going to quickly list off as many as I possibly can.
Okay. Oof.
In 60 seconds.
Wow. Okay.
Dumb and Dumber 2, Jurassic World, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, Tron Legacy, Ghostbusters 2016, Zoolander 2, Bridget Jones's Baby, Finding Dory, T2, Trainspotting, Blade Runner 2049, Super Troopers 2, Incredibles 2, Glass, Rambo, Last Blood, Bad Boys for Life, but it's the third one, Bill and Ted, Face the Music, Live Free and Die Hard, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
Oh,
how does your mind feel after hearing all that? Did that bring back memories of all those movies?
It did. There were so many. I literally forgot there was a Trainspotting 2 and a Super Troopers 2. Oh, that's right.
I've seen both. I own Trainspotting 2 because I thought the trailer looked great. And I was like, I like the first one. How could I not like the second one? And I found a way. Let's hear what other people thought about their first time watching Independence Day Resurgence. God, I hate that title.
It's such a bad title, but we'll get into that later.
Let's get our tomato meter up.
Okay.
And you know what's crazy? This is a tomato meter and audience score that are the same. 30%.
Wow.
Critics and audiences thought, yep, 30%, less than half.
Failing grade. Yep. Nope.
Not great.
Not great. We've definitely seen a lot lower. But it's still not great.
It's pretty low.
It's very low.
Whew. Well, let's change the pace and let's find some people that like this movie. Let's get into some positive reviews.
Ooh, review time. There were some positive reviews. Not many, but there were some.
It was difficult to find some good reviews.
Yeah, it took me a minute. So Robert Koger from Flickering Myth said, so much of what is going on in the third act is so ridiculous. It is hard not to find some enjoyment out of it. Yes, it is. It is.
You know what? The third act is the only part I like of this movie.
I don't know how I feel about it.
Out of all the sequences in this movie,
yeah,
them fighting a giant queen alien is the only thing I think is interesting and cool.
Yeah. I mean, I agree, but also the third act feels like it belongs in an entirely different movie at the
For
same
sure.
time.
Absolutely. Matthew Pejkovic of Matt's Movie Reviews. Roland Emmerich does Roland Emmerich things by going all out in his continued tale of mankind versus the alien, resulting in popcorn munching entertainment of the OTT kind.
Oh.
Over the top.
It is over the top. Yes, and Roland Emmerich is doing the most.
Jackie K. Cooper of Huffington Post. Based on the popularity of the original and the strength of the characters created there, the sequel should have been a sure thing. It isn't. Oh, it is good, but it should have been so much better.
I agree it should have been so much better. I don't agree that it was good.
My wife thinks it was good. She liked it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
She is entitled to her opinion.
Everyone is,
and
hey.
I would hate to deny someone of enjoying something.
Exactly.
But I do not share that opinion with her.
I do not either. Sorry, Megan. Good for you for finding the good in everything.
It's really sweet of her.
That is really nice. That's a great quality to have.
I appreciate it. She found the good in me.
Aw.
Probably.
Hopefully.
Mm.
You know who also found the good in this movie? Andrew Galdi from Movie Bitches. He wrote, I had a lot of fun in this movie.
Good for him. You know what? If you like this movie, I'm proud of you.
Good for you. If you can have fun in this movie, you're a better person than I am. You have way more patience.
Now let's get on to negative and shit on this movie.
Jason Best from Movie Talk wrote, the new film isn't so much a reprise of Independence Day as it is a combination of tribute act and reunion tour. I agree.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Roxana Haddadi of Chesapeake Family Magazine.
Oh.
Why is Independence Day Resurgence even happening? This total uncreative cash grab copies much of the original 90s action film, but with practically no fun.
Yeah.
That's how I feel.
I feel that way.
Mike Massey of Gone with the Twins. It's been 20 years in the making, but it's 19 years too late. See, I disagree. I think 20 years was the right amount of time for a sequel to this nature. For aliens invading the world, I think they wouldn't invade it like the next year. Like, oh no, we messed up. We'll get them next time. Their next time, because of space travel, would take a long ass time, like 20 years.
Yeah.
And I wanted to see, hey, how is Earth as a whole prepared? Not just like USA. Has the world united as a front and ready to prepare? Hey, we'll see.
I agree. I actually think that this franchise worked for a big gap in the sequels, but the execution was where we had issues.
Yeah.
David Sims from The Atlantic wrote, it is a non-movie, an insult to the blockbuster genre, and should stand only as a perfect example of Hollywood's more glaring deficiencies as an industry. Wow. So David is trying to take this movie and blame the whole operation of Hollywood. That feels a little much.
Yeah, I disagree. I think there's a lot of people that worked on this movie. It wasn't like two people that fucked up. I mean, there were one or two things make this movie not great, but like you got a lot of performers, a lot of people in crew, and they do a great job making it look great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like story is where this movie falls flat for me. So that's between writer, director, and producers in my eyes.
Oh yeah, I fully agree with that. I don't think you can take a bad movie and have it be a reflection of the glaring deficiencies as an industry. That's like taking a bad employee and saying the whole company isn't working. That doesn't really make sense. You got to look at the company as a whole and why maybe this employee didn't work out well. You know what I mean? It just seems like, David, that's dramatic. Let's tone it down a bit. All right, Joe. Let's talk about our second chance with Independence Day Resurgence.
Whew. Just in general, like it being a sequel 20 years later, what do you expect from 20 years later sequels?
So I expected mostly, like we discussed a little bit, like this, like the spirit of the first one.
Okay.
So I wasn't going in thinking like this is going to be the exact same movie experience. I was thinking like, I guess I could compare it to like almost like a Force Awakens kind of experience where
Okay.
it's the spirit of the movie. We have our, you know, our legacy characters and we have our new characters and we're figuring out this world together. I
think what's weird about like our new characters, at least two of them are the children from the first one, which I wouldn't consider them legacy characters. They are, but they're adults, so they're a different character.
Yeah, so I have a lot of thoughts about the characters in general with this movie. So first off, I like that we have our, you know, Goldblum and Bill Pullman and Vivica Fox, like some of the iconic characters from the first one, but how they're handled.
Don't leave them all out. Let's acknowledge every returning face.
Okay, yes.
David Levinson, which is Goldblum.
Yep.
President Whitmore. We get him back. We get David's dad, Julius, back. We do get Jasmine Hiller. We get Dr. Oaken. Yeah, Dr. Oaken. And apparently two characters that are pretty minor, I think, in the first one. General Gray. They give a little tribute to him. Apparently he was the next president after Whitmore. And then we get Dr. Isaacs, who I'm pretty sure was like a background character in the first one.
Yeah, I hardly remember him.
And now he's bumped up to like Dr. Oaken's like unnamed boyfriend.
Yeah,
that has been like at his side the entire time while he was in a coma. I thought he was dead.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. So I like who we got back. I think is cool. I don't like how really any of them are handled at all. Except for Dr. Oakham. I do like the reveal that like he didn't die, he's been in a coma this whole time, and then there's something about like 20 years later when the aliens come back he's able to wake up. Like I think there could have been something really cool there. And then we have like our new batch, and like you said, two of them were kids that were in the original movie, the president's daughter and Will Smith's son. And they're babies, like they are babies in the movie, and they only like pop in and out, like they're not a big focus, but it's like, oh, that's cool, we know them. One thing I like is that those two now have like a friendship, because you know their parents went through something together, they probably stayed in contact, and then through that they became friends. I would have preferred that these two be the main young characters, and they're really not. For some reason Liam Hemsworth is.
Yeah, who has nothing to do with any. He's the only connection he has to our legacy characters is that he's dating Little Whitmore. What is her name?
Is it like Carly or something?
I just call her President's daughter.
President's daughter, yeah.
Daughter Whitmore. That's what I'm gonna call her. I don't know what her first name is, but it's not that important. I know who the character is.
Yeah.
Which is sad that I don't know what her character. I've watched a 2-hour movie and I don't know what her name is.
I don't even know her first name, and that's unfortunate because like she is the president's daughter. She has an attachment to the first one, more so the former president's daughter. But for Liam Hemsworth, I think like he's kind of he's just like new person, and like you said is dating former president's daughter, but we never actually really see them together because he's off on a moon base and she's on Earth, and then we see them together towards the end, and we're supposed to
we only see them when they like reunite at the end. Yeah,
but we're supposed to be super invested in their relationship, and their relationship is basically Zoom calls. Like I don't care how they like. So I think Liam Hemsworth, you put him in more in the background, that character. Maybe don't even have Liam Hemsworth in it at all.
So here's the big issue when we fall apart with this movie. Is the restructuring of these characters. And a lot of this probably has to do with Will Smith not being in this movie. So there's two different stories of this. One comes from our director, who said Will Smith was just too expensive. His pay rate was way too high for this budget. And so he didn't come back because he was too expensive. Will Smith, on the other hand, has his side of, I was too busy. I was filming Concussion and Suicide Squad, so I couldn't fit this into my schedule. Guys, if Will Smith can't be in this movie, wait till his schedule is free. You're in no rush. No one's saying, I have to have this movie now.
Right.
We can wait.
Right.
We'll wait. The script was rewritten a few times, rewritten in the sense that Will Smith couldn't be in it, so we had to adjust it. My thoughts are he might have been the Liam Hemsworth character that they had to adjust into a different character because of his absence.
Okay, so my conspiracy theory brain says neither stories are true.
Ooh.
One, you had the money. You had the money. Don't tell me you didn't have the money for this movie to get Will Smith. That's a lie. That's a straight up lie. I saw this movie. I could guess the budget. You're good. Will Smith, he's kind of a class act. Like he's gonna like keep it real, but also he's not one to be like aggressive. I bet he saw the script and was like, nah, I would rather do Suicide Squad, which, I mean, that tells you something right there. But
what we got from Suicide Squad was, again, was written well, but then
that's true,
got edited around, or too many producers got their like hands on some strings, and
I wouldn't be necessarily surprised to find out one day that Will Smith was like, this story ain't it, like we have to fix this for let's do this, and they were like, no. And I do remember, like, leading up to this movie, hearing about like who's going to be in it, like who's returning. I remember hearing like Will Smith wouldn't come back, and I remember thinking like, fuck Will Smith, like thinking he's too good for this movie. Come on, bro. And then I saw it and was like, no, like good for Will Smith, like good for him. Like I get it. So Will Smith's not in it, but we have his son, who's played by Jesse T. Usher, who's from The Boys, which obviously is something I didn't clock until the second time around.
Same. I think when it came, The Boys had not been out when.
No.
Yeah. So I was like, who is this new guy? I don't know him.
Right.
I don't think he's bringing anything to this character. This is just plain, which is weird because, like, I've seen The Boys and he's really exciting in that.
Yeah, no, he could do it. I think it was the material and probably the directing. Yeah. I think if we're gonna have like a charismatic leader, which was the attempt with Liam Hemsworth character, let's have it be him. Why not him?
So I'm going to disagree completely with this.
Okay.
Do not make him a copy of Will Smith. Make his character not a fighter pilot. His character maybe idolizes David and then works as a scientist-esque person.
Sure.
That way he's still like involved in the alien stopping world, but he's not exactly like his dad. He goes into science.
Yes.
And like, then make him like David's partner, like David's assistant.
Sure. Yeah. That's nice. That's a nice connection. I like that.
And then with our legacy characters, the daughter of the president, I like that she is our fighter pilot. She should have been our Hemsworth character.
Mm-hmm.
Make her the lead. Do not have Hemsworth in it all. She does not need a love interest.
No.
Her love / just heart, or like the thing that gets her like moving, dad. We already have like a connection in this movie. Dad is the person. If we lose dad, I'm sad about that.
Yes, I agree.
And
I
she
agree.
has her friend, because she's gone through the traumatic experience with him of Hiller. She can hang out with him, or like they can be like bros. They don't have to date. Not everyone
No.
has to date because they knew each other. I like the idea that they could have been like best friends because of this experience.
Yeah. And
that way we get our fighter pilot and we get our scientist of our new generation.
Goldblum to me is in like a different movie from everyone else. Like he is like not there. Like his storyline is so fucking strange. They introduced this warlord who has a brain connection with the aliens, who's warlord.
I don't mind this character.
See, the character to me just doesn't do anything. He doesn't add anything. I don't mind.
Let's talk about, you keep your thought process of Goldblum. Goldblum goes to, there was a spaceship during the first event that landed in
I think South Africa.
Okay, they make up a country, but it landed in South Africa in the warlord's territory. So I like that we got like this. I like seeing new perspectives of ideas that we had. So I like that there was this like warlord that was like, this is I've been killing aliens with fucking machetes, and like I think because of all the killing he's done, and they're underneath this ship or near this ship. He has some sort of connection. Again, I don't think the only person that should have a connection mentally with the aliens is Oaken, because of the physical touching, and
they talk
alien
through
used his mind to speak through him.
Right.
So, but I like that he's like, this has been my ship that I've been like eyeing down, and like when it turned on, that's why, because like the 20 years it turned on, that's why Goldblum's there to like figure out what's up. Other thing about Goldblum's character I think is fucking weird. The first one had this big old moment where he's like marries his sweetheart, and they have this cute ceremony, and that's like one of the two couples that you're really like rooting for. They don't mention her at all.
No. Where'd she go?
Apparently has this other girl he had like been seeing, which is weird. Fun fact, apparently there were some Independence Day books that take place between these times.
What?
And that wife died in a car wreck.
What?
Yep, that's it. I solved the mystery for everyone. Yeah.
No, thank you. I think again, it's someone he works with, so it's just like a woman is in proximity, he has to date her. No, we don't need that. I think because like you said, we had this like really momentous like love story for him in the first one. Okay, if you want the wife to be dead in this one, whatever, but then like don't bring the actress back. We don't need to stick to a book that no one knows about.
If we can't bring the actress back, recast,
or don't have him like have a separate love story if we can't get the actress in.
So because it's such a iconic movie, you can't just make this character disappear. She's a big part of the first movie.
She is a big part.
So I feel so cheated when she's not around or even mentioned.
She's not mentioned. Yeah, that's the issue. And then without even mentioning what happened, we're supposed to like get behind him, and
we can get his dad back, but we can't get his wife back.
And his dad, just the thing, he's also in his own separate movie here, because like
Judd Hirsch, fantastic actor.
Oh my god, yeah. Yes.
Love him in Taxi.
Absolutely. Iconic.
In this movie, not necessary.
No.
I do think it is one of those moments where I like the legacy. So the first alien attack in this movie, they get a giant wave and Julius is riding in a boat, the dad. And I thought the wave gets him dead.
Yeah, that's how they portrayed it.
Which is like how it should have just kill him off there. It's sad for David. That's why he won't be back in the fight. Because we also get another legacy character back. Vivica A. Fox is back. And instead of a stripper this time, she's a doctor. I love that little
I
fun
love
touch.
that. I do love
She
that.
probably like stripped her way into med school.
Hell yeah,
Beautiful.
girl.
Love it.
Love it. I hate how they handle her character so much though.
But I also don't mind it because that's the moment where I think we should have killed off a few legacy characters during that, because like her death, because she dies, she's helping someone in a helicopter, and right before she can get on, building collapses and she goes. First of all, great. We get the actress back. She probably spends 1-2 days on set. She doesn't have to deal with it the rest of the time. We get her. Great. I think it's dumb that her son sees it from like hovering in a plane.
Yeah, like he's trying to get to her, but he can't. And so what annoys me about this is like not necessarily that she died, but that after she dies, from a very like noble, heroic death, saving someone and then not able to save herself, it's like, and her son sees it.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, that happened, whatever. Like he's kind of sad for a moment. He's like, oh shucks, mommy. And then it's like, all right, done. It's like if you're gonna have these like legacy characters die, and really she's like the one that dies first.
And the only legacy character that dies. Well, in that moment.
In that moment, let's feel it, and let's feel it throughout the movie. Let's have like Jesse T. Usher's character be like, I gotta fight. Now these aliens have like taken my family. I'm in it. But no, he's like, oh mom. And then it's like, okay, well, gotta go fly. Like
he has more issues with Hemsworth's character.
Unnecessary.
Yeah, I don't like it.
So yeah, on that note, real quick, they have some sort of like weird beef, but we never really find out what happened. We're supposed to gather that they were friends at one point, and then something happened, and now they have issue. And then they work through it in the movie. But like we never know what the issue was. We don't even really understand who like Liam Hemsworth character is. Like, who fucking cares? And they spend a lot of time on this like weird issue. Oh, but looping back to Judd Hirsch for a moment.
Okay.
So what annoys me, like you said, is we get this sort of like, oh, he died. And then like 30 minutes later, it's revealed like, no, he survived. And it's so annoying. I clocked it. I paused the movie because I was like, when is this happening? These like 4 kids who we don't really know, like, are they friends? Are they related? 2 are like teens and 2 are like little kids. They're like driving through the like destruction, being like, we gotta get to safety. And then all of a sudden they see him, Judd Hirsch, dangling from his boat that's like stuck on a building. And they're like, oh, let's go help that old man. And then the rest of the movie, whenever we see him, he's just like traveling with these random kids trying to get to Area 51 where Jeff Goldblum is. And it's like, okay, first of all, the issue is you're introducing new characters halfway through the movie. I don't like, we already have enough characters. And then the journey is like so hokey of him just being like, all right, kids, let's get to safety. And it's like, we didn't need any of that.
The only reason they're there is that so that like we have the kids to protect when the alien queen is attacking Air Force One. I mean, not when the queen is attacking Area 51. She's attacking Area 51. It doesn't matter if there's kids or not.
Right.
We're nervous that it's happening.
Right. To me, it was to add some sort of like level of suspense that we're supposed to care about these children, but introducing them halfway through the movie and barely even introducing them, just having them like show up.
Yeah.
I don't know who they are. I don't care.
The whole bus of kids can be cut for me. I don't care.
Also, why are you taking these kids to Area 51 where it's like super alien heavy? Like, that doesn't make sense to me too. Because it's where David's
at. And he knows how to save everyone. Yeah, it's again, I would have killed Julius in the wave, and that sucks that he dies, but like,
of course,
it happens.
But then again, like you said, more motivation for Goldblum, who, let's say, maybe he's like semi-retired at this point, or like, I'm over this shit. All right, I'm getting back in. You took my dad.
It is weird that, man, the whole movie is just weird.
The whole movie's super weird.
Yeah, David to me just feels really out of place. He doesn't really, I don't feel like he really contributes anything, which sucks because he he contributes stuff, and his dad contributes stuff to the first movie. They're legacy characters I don't think hold on well to this one, and which is sad because I feel like your legacy characters what make your movie.
Oh yeah, that's why we're coming back, is to see them pass the torch over to the new generation. But that's not what goes down here. It's like our characters are the characters we love and know are treated like secondary, and then these new characters are people like we don't know, like we don't establish them. I don't care. And like Liam Hemsworth as our main character, just first of all, he doesn't have the charisma to be a leading man. Sorry about it. Second of all, tries so hard to make him like, I'm a cool, like, don't play by the rules, like I'll do whatever I need to get the job done. Like I don't care about that trope. I don't need it. Get out of here. And I just need to say it. I just need to say it because this has been pissing me off since 2016.
Oh no.
And I had to like really make sure that I didn't imagine this in 2016, because when I bring this up, no one knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so there's a point. Chaos is happening.
In this movie?
In this movie.
Okay.
There's two things.
If you're talking about 2016.
No, in 2016, I noticed this in the first movie. No one else seemed to clock this, which drove me crazy, but it definitely happened. I made sure of it this viewing. So at some point, the fighter pilots are like, we got aliens, boo, 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 boo. And I don't really know the reason.
That part exactly.
Liam Hemsworth like is getting, he's like the last one to get back on the ship, and he's shooting like a little like beam gun at the alien. And at some point, he goes from shooting to just straight up throws his little gun, his little like
he sure does that
water gun size gun at the alien,
he
and then runs away. I know, but it's like it just annoys me so much to think like pew 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 pew. Oh, that didn't work. Well, and then like run off into the ship.
He ran out of bullets and he's throwing the gun.
Don't have him throw the gun. It looks so weak, and the way he does it too
stupid.
Is so annoying. Like just like like just while shooting, run into the ship, drop, get out of there. Like, what do you do? Second thing they have him do, and you may know this already, Joe, because you know your movie trivia.
Oh, I love trivia.
Liam Hemsworth fought very hard to have a moment where he punches an alien in the face.
Oh, like Will Smith did?
Yeah, and
I mean,
they do it.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned that. I don't remember him punching an alien in the face at all.
He sure does.
But I epically remember Will Smith punch, welcome to Earth, bam.
Right. So that's like epic and fun. And we're like, yeah, punch him in the face. This time around, like Liam Hemsworth literally just walks up to an alien and smacks it in the face. And it's so forgettable. It's not.
Does he say a cool line?
No, I don't think he says anything.
That's probably why I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I will say one nice thing about that scene. I like seeing the aliens walking around like in infantry mode. Because of the technology now, we don't get like puppets like dangling.
Right.
There's like, you know, we actually see them moving, like scoping around with guns. And I like seeing the aliens do that. I wish we had more infantry scenes with aliens and maybe some like just other army soldiers from Earth fighting.
Sure, hand-to-hand combat with aliens. Let's get into that.
We didn't get much of that. It's a lot of spaceship battles.
So one thing that I want to touch on is the weird ways in which they specifically copied moments and things from the first one. What's so strange is that there are so many times where this movie copies things that happen in the first movie, but do so in such a lame way that it's like, my God, what did you do? Did you just think like, oh, that was iconic from the first movie, let's just like do it again?
See, I don't see that at all, because I feel like one of the things that this movie's lacking is all the big epic moments that we get. So what do you think it copied? Because if it copied something,
there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay, but here's the thing: none of them are epic.
Maybe that's why I don't think of them as copies.
None of them. None of them have that like epicness, like that
I
like
just
the
want to
first one
say
does.
from the first movie, we have epic president speech.
Mm-hmm.
We have iconic buildings exploding, and with that, the just like visual effects of the White House blowing up. Like it was crazy just to see that. See the one like beam that blows up the what was the Empire State Building?
Mm-hmm.
Man, like Mount Rushmore, like all that
Oh wait,
shit.
no, it was in LA, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, right. That was in
LA,
LA.
whatever. Okay, so there's a lot of those moments you mentioned.
Welcome to Earth.
Welcome to Earth. Okay, so like literally,
That
so
was a cop. Okay.
that's a copy. For instance, like the Liam Hemsworth punching an alien is so forgettable, but it's a copy from the first
I don't
movie.
even remember. I've seen it twice.
You don't even remember it. That's how lame it is. What really, really gets me is that Bill Pullman's speech from the first one is so iconic. Like the passion, the like, yeah, let's get him. He gives a speech.
It inspired us all.
It inspired us all. I celebrate my independence because of that speech only. So he gives a speech in this movie, and it's meant to be like capturing and inspiring, and like we're gonna fight, we're gonna survive, we're gonna celebrate the 4th of July. But what it is in this movie is that he's just like chatting with Goldblum. They're like, hey bud, how have you been? Not so great. Me neither. Cool. And then out of nowhere, he just starts monologuing. Bill Pullman is just like going off, and he's like, we're gonna fight. We're back here again. This is wild. But he's doing it to people that aren't paying attention and like turn over and are like, hey, that man's talking. And it's like 20 to 30 people.
The old president?
Yeah. They're like in the middle of conversation and they're like, what's he saying?
The most egregious thing about this scene is that Bill Pullman shaved his beard right beforehand. Didn't need to.
No, didn't need to.
Absolutely just should have kept that beard because it looked so good.
I can't
stress how great he looks in a beard.
He does.
And I would have loved to see him fly around in that plane with a beard.
He looked, but okay, so
give that speech.
He gives a speech, and instead of like pumping up the world or America, he pumps up like 20 to 30 people that are in a plane hangar, and they're just like, yeah, good job, that was a really good speech. Okay, another thing that directly after that, he's like, you know what, I'm a kamikaze myself and like fly into an alien thing because I want to protect my kids. Guess what, that happens in the first movie with the crazy ass Randy Quaid, who by the way is thinking about running for governor of your state. He flies into an alien thing, kamikazes himself to protect his kids. Other thing involving Bill Pullman is he gets a literal repeat of the doc scene where the doctor has his neck choking out, is like being possessed.
Pullman doing it.
And it's Pullman doing it, same like fog, same like neck.
Yeah.
It's like the same.
You don't like that?
Vibe. I don't like it because it's like
that's a moment I think is great. We got the same idea from the first one of the alien communicating, and it was instead of our doctor, kind of like a minor character, it's our big legacy president that's like, I'm gonna step in, and because I know what needs to be done, and I'm kind of going, I don't think he needs to be nuts, but I like that it was him. I wish it was more of like, again, like an alien breakout escape, and it just happened to be him.
Sure, that would make it more epic. Yeah.
And the fact that it's Pullman getting his fucking neck and he's got his beard there, just like, really? Well, he doesn't do the release me.
Right.
He says like, he's coming, she's coming. Oh, who's she? Guys, do you really not assume that they have a queen? Right. Are you fucking serious?
Just because your movie can't have female leadership, oh, I guess there's a female president. Sure, we can homage things and bring things, but there's no like spirit there. There's no like, yeah, like it doesn't come off the same.
So when he does his death sacrifice at the end, it's again a little copy paste of Randy Quaid's sacrifice, but when it's like he's the only one that has a rocket left, and he's like, well, fuck these guys, I'll do this. And it's heartbreaking in that movie. This one, I don't feel any weight of the president making a
No.
sacrifice.
No.
Because he's not doing it. He's doing it to stop the queen, but there is no emotion behind this movie in any way, shape, or form.
No.
And the fact when he gets in there, I even think we see like some force field, and like I think like why can't you see that either? But the alien herself has the queen. She has a force field around her because she a queen. At that point, I was rooting for that queen.
Yeah, no, seriously.
100%. That's my favorite part is the queen running around smashing shit. I think, hell yeah. I love that it's a giant, almost like Aliens, the sequel to Alien.
Yeah.
There's a giant fucking queen alien just roaming around.
I like that too. I think that makes it more epic. I think so Bill Pullman's death really bothers me because I think it makes sense to have him be the one to like do the big heroic moment. Like I'll save the day. I don't care. But what we're supposed to feel is similar to the first one. The kids are like, no, don't do it. Gotta do it, kid. Sorry. But because one, we hardly know what this girl is about.
Right, yeah.
And I don't care that she said. And two, throughout the whole movie, their relationship feels more like an obligation. Like she's like, I'm grounded because I gotta take care of my dad, and like, oh, my dad's going crazy, gotta take care of him. So it's not like I don't feel like this weight of like, oh my god, she just lost her father and we just lost the president or Bill Pullman. Like it's just like, oh, okay, bye. And then what annoys me as well is that, like you mentioned, the force field, his death doesn't do much. His death
doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything.
Like, there's still aliens. There's still the queen. He blows up nothing. They trap a force field because they think his nuke will blow up everything inside it. And then the queen's like, nah, I've got a force field in this force field. So peace.
Like if we gotta feel like, wow, he did that for us. Like, but we don't. It's like he kills himself.
But you know what? I do give props to the movie for killing off one of the legacy characters. Like,
oh yeah,
that's great.
Sure.
But like, fuck, we wasted it in such a way.
That's the thing. I don't mind that he dies in a heroic manner, and it's like towards the end, it's like the heroic moment.
Do you think?
But it does nothing.
Okay, so we touched up on this, and let's dive into it now.
Sure. Okay.
The new president. Pretty forgettable.
So
do you know the actress at all?
She has a face of someone that looks really familiar. I know I've seen her in things. I don't know her name.
So she's one of those actresses that I feel is in a good amount of things, but is never like the lead or a memorable character. She's just in it.
Right.
Good for you, girl.
Yeah.
She's in a lot of like TV shows I'm not familiar with. She's in CSI New York.
Yeah, I know. I'm more of a Law and Order gal.
She is in The Day After Tomorrow, which is
I think she's Jake Gyllenhaal's mom.
If you say so. Apparently she's in Gone Girl. Whatever. So she gets killed off screen, which is super fucked up. Yeah. She's supposed to be the president, and I feel like again, because this is like we're in 2016 at this point, I think they were trying to make like a nod to Hillary being the new president. Hillary didn't get. Unfortunately, Hillary didn't win.
Yeah.
So anyway, with this, oh man, I just think it's like shoehorned. Like we had to have a female president.
Yeah.
Instead of somebody who was just like a president who happened to be female.
Yeah.
Like because the character itself. There's no characterization other than female president.
Yep.
Which is sad. So, fun fact, do you know who was supposed to be or was offered the role and turned it down?
Was it Vivica?
No. That's a really big step from stripper in the first movie.
Things happen. No, who turned this role down?
This is an Academy Award-winning actress.
Meryl Streep?
Susan Sarandon.
Oh my god.
So when I was watching this movie, I thought I feel like this would have benefited more from like someone more B-lister or A-lister, like someone iconic
Yeah.
that doesn't steal the show away from our legacy characters, but is an actress that like we all recognize and we're all like, fuck yeah, I respect the hell out of her. Absolutely could be in charge. But like this, unfortunately, I'm sorry, Stella Ward, I don't know who you are. You're not a name to me, so I don't feel the impact. But Sarandon, let me see if I can find the quotes. She turned down the role when she found the script incomprehensible. This part is considered to be because she turned down a prominent role and they didn't know which, but we can assume it was the president. Sarandon said, when I read the script, I couldn't understand what was going on. I just couldn't understand it. Seriously. A lot of people from the original one were not going to do it. And I read it, I just thought, no, I can't. I just can't. But seriously, I read that and I did not have the faintest idea. They said, wait till you see how your character dies. And I read that part and thought, it's not so great, actually. Not so interesting. Dodged a bullet.
Good for her. Good for her.
Because I love that the aliens invade wherever she's at, high up politicians are at, and that like they kill them, but it goes to black and cuts what we were hoping to see. I was hoping to see them like slaughter all of them and like, oh fuck, that's again, they took everything that's like has heart and has weight out of this movie.
Yeah.
Get out of here. We just want some quick action. We don't give a shit about soul. Keep on going.
We want money.
So one thing I hate about this movie is its title.
Resurgence.
They don't ever say resurgence in it.
No.
Not a good word. It doesn't flow. Like it's hard to like resurge. It just, you feel like you're pumping the brakes the entire time you're saying that word. Especially
with Independence Day, resurgence. It doesn't flow.
ID4-2. Done. We're done. The fact that they kept calling it ID4 on the original one is weird. But I like it.
Sure.
Keep it up. Every time I text it to you, I say ID4-2.
Yeah. I'm not writing out that whole title. No.
Yeah. Okay, so let me give you some other titles that they thought about.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Independence Day Rises. Independence Day Returns. Independence Day Requiem. Independence Day Retaliation.
No.
Yeah, they were stuck on that R word.
Wow, why did we need that R word?
I don't know. R is not like an important.
No.
It's just as important as any other letter. Like,
who the hell thought of Independence Day Requiem?
Someone who loves drugs.
Independence Day 2. The aliens come back. Independence Day 2. More independence. Independence Day 2. America's #1. Oh man, this was not it. Yeah, let's just all collectively forget this movie existed.
Just watch the first one.
Just watch the first one.
First one still holds up.
First one still holds up. I actually want to watch it like right now.
I'm gonna give a pause for any Independence Days for a long while.
That's fair. That's fair. Well, thank you again for listening to another episode of Second Chance Movies. Please leave a review, a comment, rating. Let us know what you think. Do you agree with our take on Independence Day Resurgence? Did you like the first one? Did Will Smith get out of this scot-free? He sure did.
Also, hey, are there any other long-awaited sequels that you liked? Is there any other movie from the 90s you think, hey, we should get a sequel now? Like, yeah. Do we need to see Billy Madison go to college?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think? Yeah. What unnecessary sequels do you want to see?
Okay, I like that. And if there's any movies you want us to give a second chance to, please let us know. We've already gotten a few suggestions that we have on the docket. So let us know if there's something you want us to review. As always, a big thank you to Beaty McBeatface for making our dope theme song. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We're on YouTube. We're wherever you listen to podcasts. All of the links are down below in our show notes or our description. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another Second Chance movie.
Welcome to Earth, bitch. Bah.
Second chance.